Sawubona Mzansi. So today we're going to talk about Flatpak and Flathub. And if you wait until the end, we're going to have an exciting announcement for you. So stay tuned. So what is Flatpak and Flathub? So let's head over to their websites to find out exactly what's it all about. So over at the Flatpak website, you can see it's the future of apps on Linux. So basically my understanding of what a Flatpak is it's a technology to help developers build and bundle their Linux applications and have them run on every single distribution or majority of the big distributions out there. And if we have a look at the website, you can see start using Flatpak and install from our growing collection of apps. So you can see it's Telegram, Slack, Inkscape, Spotify, Steam, GIMP, and Firefox. This is just a few of them. And if we scroll a little bit down, what we can see is a new world for application developers. Flatpak changes app distribution for the better. Some of the advantages are build for every distro. So if you're in the world of Linux, you'll know that every Linux distribution has their own package delivery system. So for Debian, it's apt. For Ubuntu, it's apt and snap. For Arch, it's Pacman. For Void, it's XBPS. And there's many, each distribution out there has their own one. So on the developer side, what they would have to do is, if they want the application to run on multiple distributions, before Flatpaks, what they would have to do is add it to apt, then add it to Pacman, then add it to Snap, then add it to all of the different ones if you wanted users on multiple distributions to use your application. Or what you could do is have them build from source, build your application from source. That's a little bit technical for most people. So what Flatpak does is it helps you build for every single distribution. So you build it once, bundle it once, and it can be distributed to all distributions out there. There's also stable platforms, consistent environments, full control over dependencies, easy build tools that they supply you with, future-proof builds, distribution made easy. With Flathub, we'll speak about that later. And it's an independent project. And if we scroll further down, there's a 5-minute tutorial, there's the developer guide, and as you can see, Flatpak can be used on a total of 38 distros. So you can see some of the big distros out there, but if we click on the list, there's multiple distributions out there. Most popular ones, Ubuntu, Fedora, Linux Mint, Debian, Arch, Chrome OS, I guess, Void Linux, all the different distributions out there. Now let's talk about Flathub. Flathub is basically the app store for all the different Flatpaks that are available for you. So instead of you just using the command line or finding what the command is to download a specific Flatpak, Flathub makes that easy for you. So if you can see at the top, some of the featured apps, Spelling Bee, Dippy, then we have Android Studio. And if we scroll down, there's some more apps. So you can see some trending applications. The popular applications, Discord, Chrome, Brave, Thunderbird, Spotify, Steam, VLC, Telegram, lots of applications out there. And let's say, for example, you want to install one of these applications. All you have to do is click on it. You can click the install button and it will open up your app store for you. If it is working, then it'll open it up to the specific place. I haven't got it working yet on my side. But an easier way to do this, and I like using the terminal, is click on the down arrow. It'll give you instructions on how to install this application. So just Flatpak install from Flathub, and then the name of the application, and then you can run the application like this, or click on the icon. So once I found out about these new technologies, Flatpak and Flathub, I was super excited to get MIH on there, because as you know, we use Flutter as our framework for building MIH. And Flutter can be used to develop applications across multiple different platforms. As you know, we're already on the web. We're on Android, iOS, Huawei, and Flutter can also build for Linux. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity to build a Linux version of MIH for all of us, since I love using Linux and that's on my main laptop. So what I did, as I normally do, jump onto Gemini, have a conversation with Gemini on how to do this, to see if it's possible to do it, and I went running forward. But little did I know that Flathub's new AI policy has some problems. So if you can see, there's this video that explains it extremely well. This is by Brody Robertson over on YouTube. And he explains what the issues are with the Flathub policy. So remember, Flathub is the app store for Flatpaks. So basically, the TLDR is Flathub is currently being inundated with a whole lot of AI slop applications. and their contributors are getting a little bit tired of it, and they're getting a little bit overwhelmed by everything. So they added to their policy saying that if they suspect excessive AI use, LLM use, in your application, they are going to basically ban you or block you from getting your application onto Flathub. But there are some exceptions for specific special people and specific companies. But this video dives into it extremely well. Please feel free to head over and watch this video. And please feel free to subscribe to Brody Robertson over on YouTube. So let me speak about my disaster with Flathub. So what I did, I had a conversation with Gemini. Gemini told me there was 2 ways of building a Flatpak application. The first one was building it from a single file application. And the second way was building it from source. So because I know Flutter is very complicated when it comes to building your applications, I thought, okay, let me go the route of the single file approach in building my Flatpak. So I built everything, heavily used AI in order to assist me with it, basically vibe coding my way through all of this. And then I asked Gemini, how do we need to contribute? How do I get it onto Flathub? So let me explain that quickly. So if we head over to the Flatpak repo over on GitHub, you'll see that there are some instructions of how to do this. So if you want to contribute, you'll have to create a pull request and try and merge it with the new PR section. So I did that, and let's head over and see what exactly happened to me and what the disaster was. So you can see I submitted 4 requests, and all of them were marked as AI slop, 2 of them were blocked, and 3 of them were marked as duplicates. So I'm a master at using open source applications. I love open source tools and applications, but this is the very first time that I wanted to contribute and be a part of an open source application. So let's look at my first pull request. So the first pull request, I did it on March 16th. If we open that up, let's see what happens. And we can go through my code if you want to do that. So in order to create this pull request, you have to tick some of these boxes to explain what your application is all about, a video showing that the application works, confirming that your application ID follows the rules that Flatpak sets, you've read the submission requirements and submission guidelines, and you're also an author on the project. You have to confirm how you're linked to this project. So I submitted this. I left my laptop, I came back a little bit later, and I found out that this was flagged as AI slop. So then obviously I was laughing to myself because it was AI slop. And then I just asked the question, like, why was this labeled as AI slop? And then the guy just said, because it is. So I responded, I used AI to help me because it's the first time submitting to Flathub. What, they didn't respond to me. I said, you know what, it was AI slop. Let me take a step back. When I have some time, I'll learn more about Flatpaks and Flathub, and I'll try again later when I have some time. So this one was automatically closed and everything. Then recently, I think maybe last week or the week before that, I said I have some time now. We just released MIH version 1.3.0. Check it out right now. If you haven't updated MIH, update it now. Then I said, okay, let me try and fix the problems that I had. So let's look at the second pull request. This one was done about a week ago. Same thing, I submitted everything, but I removed I had a look at my code. I removed some of the things that made it look like it was built by AI. I understood what was happening inside the application, and then I submitted it again. Then, if you can see over here, the same person from the previous request reviewed my submission and came back and said this should be built from source, as per the documentation. And then also I was missing out on the Arch64 architecture. So I said, okay, no problem. And then he was speaking about some of my app icons and my desktop files, which allows the application to have an icon on your desktop. So I took this feedback. I said, okay, perfect. Later on, someone marked this as AI slop, even though it was created by myself this time. And it was marked as a duplicate. And it was also blocked. And they gave the request over here. If we head back, I said, okay, instead of arguing with the people, I took the feedback that they gave me. I went back and I rebuilt my Flatpak from scratch. And when I was doing some of my research, and I was looking on the Flutter website of what's the best way to do this, there was a specific way to get this on Snap. And the other way was using a third-party tool. And one of these third-party tools was Flatpak. So basically what this tool is a .cli tool that automates Flatpak packaging for Flutter applications. So it basically helps you build the foundation of a Flatpak that you can start building on top of, because we're going to build this from scratch. This is what it helps you do. So this was my third submission. I built everything from scratch. I used Flatpak to help me with this. I was super confident with what I was doing. I understood everything that was happening over here. So let's look at this pull request. So this time you'll see it'll be slightly different to the previous one. So I submitted as per the requirements. I scroll down to the bottom. So you can see the GitHub Actions kicked in. This GitHub Actions basically building the application and making sure that it passes all of their checks on their side before submitting everything. So as you can see, GitHub Actions started, it built the submission. It tested the build, it started the build, it tested everything. And it built for both Arch 64 and x86 and 64 architectures, which is perfect. Someone jumped into this thread and said, this was already submitted and closed for the use of AI in the original one and also in another one. So now, even though I built this without the use of AI or just minimum use of AI, it's like I've been marked forever inside Flathub or inside their community for being AI use, even though I didn't use AI for this one. Then it was, even though it passed all of their tests, submissions, builds, all of those things, it was rejected and closed again. So I typed a message out of there, like explaining the situation. No one responded to me. They just closed the request, and they even closed it off, so I couldn't even comment again on it. So then I thought, no man, something must be wrong with how I'm submitting this thing. Once again, I went to an AI and I asked them, like, how do I resubmit a application on Flathub if it was rejected? Like, what's the process of doing it? It said I must go to the original one and try and fix the issues over there, and it will automatically populate it, and I'll just resubmit this one. But because, or I'm thinking this is the case, because I closed, or because this was closed a very long time ago, I can't reopen this one again. And because it was blocked also, I don't think I can open it up. But I submitted a brand new one. Once again, it passed all of the build tests, as it should, but then it was closed by one of the contributors, and his only comment over there was, no means no. So basically it's telling me that there's no way to get MIH onto Flathub ever. I'm permanently banned, or I'll have to change my application ID, if you can see at the top, but I'm not in the mood to do that because this is the application ID that I'm using across all of my applications. So I'm not in the mood to change that. So basically I thought to myself, no man, there must be another way of doing this. Once again, I went back to Gemini and said, I'm banned from Flathub, what alternatives are out there? And it told me that I can host my own Flatpak repository. And that's exactly what we did. So we are happy to announce that you can install the Linux version of MIH via Flatpak right now. So let's dive into how do we do this. So the first requirements that you would have to do is get Flatpak installed on your machine. You can Google how to do this for your specific distribution. It's just a simple command that you'll put in the terminal. For example, on Debian, it's sudo apt install Flatpak. On the other distributions, I'm sure it's just as simple. Once you have that installed, the best place to find the instruction of how to install the MIH app on Linux is to head over to our business profile page on MIH. Please feel free to scan this QR code that you're seeing on the screen right now, and that'll take you through to our business profile. Once you're here, you can click on website. That'll take you through to our personal website, the MIH website. And you can see download MIH. So you can see we have a web app version, we have the Play Store version, we have the App Store version, the App Gallery version, and now the new Linux version of MIH. If we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the instructions over there. So in order to install MIH on Linux, all you'll have to do is copy these commands into the terminal and get things going. So the first command that we're going to use is adding a new remote to your Flatpak. We'll press enter, and you shouldn't see any feedback from it. It'll just add it for you. And the next command is installing the MIH app through the MIH FP hub. So we'll copy over that command, paste it in, press enter. So it starts looking for a match. It'll tell you these are the specific downloads that are required for the MIH app. You'll just type Y, press enter, and you'll wait for it to install. Depending on if you've installed it before, if you have the other requirements, it won't take too long to download. It's just under 32 megabytes to install MIH. And as you can see, MIH is now installed. Change is complete. And if you want to run it from the terminal, you can type Flatpak run ZA and then tab. It should get you the rest of the app ID. Press enter. And as you can see, MIH is there running natively on Linux. If you don't want to run it from the terminal, the MIH app icon should appear in your app drawer. I can't show you right now because I'm using my second screen to show things and the app drawer shows on your first screen. But the app should be there. Just double click it, sign in, and now you have the native Linux version of MIH installed on your machine. And that's our story with Flatpak and Flathub and the drama around it. And now that we are marked forever as an AI user in Flathub, I don't think we're ever going to be on Flathub. Hopefully one day in the future we can be there. But in the meantime, download the Linux version of MIH through Flatpak. And we have some ambitions in the future to have multiple different applications. And similar to what Flathub is doing, we can do this with the MIH FP Hub. But there's definitely a lot more work that we'll have to do for that, and that's far in the future goals. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for letting me rant about my issues and drama that I've been having with Flathub. And if you'd like to download MIH and check it out, please feel free to download it from either the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, Huawei App Gallery, the brand new Flatpak version, or you can use the web app found on Google. All you have to do to find us is search MIH or MIH app, and we will appear at the top of the list. Thank you so much for watching, and let's keep working hard, Mzansi.